Mark,
baby wipes.
while you're here, you can get to 5 wide receivers real fast.
Oh, yeah.
So Cincinnati, I think, kept 6 when they made their final cuts last year with this group.
I feel like you can get to 6.
Yeah.
Well, who's the 6? 6 to me is Jaquan Jackson.
Yeah, I'm checking the box with him.
Well, who you keeping at returner then? If he's
Jaquan?
6.
Him.
Well, what about if you're only keeping 5?
Or I go with your plan.
I like Kyrus, though.
I know.
And,
Both of them making plays.
throw your boy. 16.
I don't know if there's no room for him back there now in the role he's taking over.
Yeah, see, that's true. And we might have to dive in deep on that now.
Oh,
Here we go. So here are the
jersey's
5.
out.
Here are the 5.
Speaking
DeAndre
of
Hopkins.
honey mustard.
DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, Tyler Boyd, Traylon Burks, Nick Westbrook, Akine. There's 5.
That's
then
crazy.
you've got Jaquan Jackson, Colton Dowell's out, Kyrus Jackson, Kyle Phillips, Mason Kinsey. You want to talk about, I heard y'all talking about chirping. You want to talk about chirp? Like,
He was in it.
Mason Kinsey might be the most chirping dude on the field.
He was live.
That is great.
Were you
I
that
love
way too?
I wasn't.
No.
You wouldn't have seen that out of me on joint practice like that. Maybe a little bit, but game day is a little different. Because when you are playing in the slot, I guess anytime you have a wide receiver DB matchup, if the DB's traveling, but usually I was playing in the slot and I played against the same DB every snap. When they put the nickel in, it'd be the same guy. So I'd have the same matchup for 20 to 30 plays a game, and that gets fun. That gets fun because then you just see a lot too much of each other. So then I only got mic'd up a couple times, and I'm glad there was only a little bit of evidence because it's just I was the same. I was the same way on the field as I am when I have the first 10 minutes of my own radio show. Okay, I get a little excited, but
Bring in the energy.
yeah.
They fist bump. Yeah, you two are like the best friends ever
Hey,
now.
we had a ball in him, man. I'm telling you. You should have seen it during the break.
Oh, it was crazy.
So the reason why I say that about Jaquan Jackson, on Wednesday, he caught two balls, little short routes, and beat everybody to the end zone for 2 long touchdowns.
Well, here's the deal.
He just ran away from people.
The top 5 who were pretty solid with, you didn't name a punt returner, kick returner. So somebody's going to get a roster spot if and when they earn that spot. And if it's not
so that's the 6th guy.
Well, if it's not a black and white decision on who that guy is, if you're still kind of on the fence, you better be able to do a whole lot of stuff. And I think
And special teams.
yeah. And it's going to be difficult, man. It's going to be hard. I think it's going to be a hard decision, and I love that. I love that for the depth of that room because we haven't been having to worry about that for a while.
Right. So could they keep 7 because of that?
Well, here's my thing.
Oof. That's
I think the last few
3
practices,
running backs, how many tight ends? Like, you can start doing it positionally and come up with 53.
I don't think they.
I think 6.
You can't keep 7.
I think 6 is the number,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you, I really have loved Jaquan Jackson this season. I think he's also. Everyone's been talking about him this week.
Preseason game, too.
I don't know. I haven't seen enough, but all I do know is that when you keep consistently making plays like that, and there's a coach watching that film, right, and a GM, and they have the clicker in their hand. Our old adage when I was playing in Chicago was make them hit rewind, right? You want that guy's hitting the clicker. He might not even know what number you are, who name on the back of that jersey, whatever. You want to keep that guy hitting rewind and keep getting your number on the screen, making plays and doing good things. And man, Jaquan Jackson keeps doing that. And it's not just one day. You're not just talking about him
every day.
one day.
Yep.
He keeps doing it, and then he makes a play in the game. And then he just broke somebody off in red zone 1-on-1s yesterday. I like his game. I like what I've seen. And honestly, I got to throw a little love while I have the airwaves right now. Kyle Phillips is looking good, dude. I mean, this is the
problem
guy.
with Kyle Phillips is he makes great catches, but then like the video comes out of him dropping 2 punts before the game.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem.
You can't trust him in that position.
Well, here's the deal.
and it might cost him a roster spot.
I think you're spot on. And I think our pass with him has probably already made it a little bit difficult. But a year ago, we were talking about, dang, these guys got to start stepping up because they're going to be in the back end of our receiver room.
Right.
Now, we have all of a sudden this luxury of like, this receiver room has so much depth that you can't be making plays like that. You can't be having
like
negative
we
stuff.
haven't even mentioned Bryce Oliver in this conversation.
Yeah.
And I mean, I get
Kearis
he's
Jackson.
an undrafted guy. I did mention Kearis,
yeah. Because
But-
he started it off on the kick return.
But like, there's no space for a guy like Oliver, but he has certainly shown some promise.
Right. And now you've got the expanded practice squad deal. And that's where a guy like that
There'll
can
be
sit.
room for guys on the practice squad, but I don't know. It's been fun to watch, and I love seeing playmakers. And I thought it was awesome to see both those guys make a play in the return game last Saturday. And obviously, you know my history with our special teams and our special teams coach. You know, individually that Colt Anderson that's here now, but I love this kick return, and I think
I was
we
going
need.
to ask you that.
It has been so fun to watch, and I think we need an emphasis there. And so whoever wins that job, it's going to be a really important job this year, and you can see it already making a difference in games around the league because you get penalized for kicking touchbacks.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to give the teams a chance to return the ball, and it's fun to see.
To your point on the previous special teams staff, how obvious is it that it was not good? I mean, just in seeing the difference, and I know it's a different kickoff rule and whatever else, but I think it's pretty obvious that there was something lacking.
Well, I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to be pretty broad about it, but being in the building a couple times this offseason, being at practice, seeing all the faces around the practice field, it feels different this year when you walk around that facility. It feels different. And
you don't see any eggshells on the floor?
I think it feels different for a lot of people. Inside the building, maybe outside the building, maybe old guys wanting to come back and be able to chill.
Even Lawan, who is well documented, variable guy, right? Like he said that same thing. For a lot of guys, it's a lot more free and
yeah. And I mean, listen, I don't know if it's going to translate, and obviously we have a lot to prove. We have 3 coordinators who have never called plays. Think about that.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, it is scary. And even think about it. Brian Callahan, he comes here with this big offensive expectation or whatever, like a big offensive mind. He didn't call plays in Cincinnati. I mean, Zach Taylor was calling plays. Yep. So there's a lot of ironing out to do, and there's a lot of things we need to see play out. But it feels just different. It feels like guys are having fun and flying, and I think it bodes well for this team. And being a core special teams guy and being really a part of the special teams, it's in those position battles and in those roster spots that you find guys that are laying it on the line every single snap, because that's the way they're going to live and die on this football team. And so it's fun to watch those guys throw it out there. Trey Avery, little love to Trey Avery.
Yeah, yep.
Absolutely stuck a punt returner on last Saturday, and hopefully he does again. But anyway, those are the plays you need to make the team.
Marc Mariani in studio with us on 3
I think that's a great point. When you talk about the coordinators that haven't called plays, but on the flip side of that, is that why you want to go get guys that kind of understand the system that you would want to run? It's not necessarily about getting guys that you're going to develop right now, knowing that we only had, 6 picks in the draft, 5 picks in the draft, whatever it was. But being able to go get guys like a Jamal Adams, a Quandre Diggs, and then on offense, a Calvin Ridley, a Tyler Boyd, a veteran like Tony Pollard that can catch out the backfield. Because you automatically thought of, when they went and got Pollard, man, that's Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
Because you can only go by what you've seen. And Callahan has only seen a Joe Mixon. He's seen what Tyler Boyd can do. He's seen what a playmaker like a Calvin Ridley can do. You know what you got in D-Hop. But then so forth and so on. You got these guys, man, and is that a security blanket for them as far as being able to say, Will Levis, listen, get it to our playmakers in this check down style offense we're going to run. Get it to the guys, short and simple, get it to them, let them make a play, move the chains, and then we'll pop.
Well, I think you're spot on, but I also think, too, along with that, they brought in a lot of experienced coaches.
Yep.
And I mean, not just Bill Callahan, but you got Frank Bush and you got Tracy Rocker. You got some guys who have been around the block and are going to help the maturation process of these coaches.
That's right.
And so I feel good about that. And you know, I don't think it's a negative. I don't think it's a negative. I just think there's a lot to be seen. And me sitting here as the super fan, I mean, don't ask me what the Titans are odds to win the Super Bowl because I already sprinkled a lot on it, baby. Plus 15,000. Come on. Fourth worst odds to win the Super Bowl. That's how much the odds are doubting us. Fourth worst. And, you know,
Mark, you
I couldn't resist.
Can you hear that? Can you hear that? Hear that?
Oh my gosh.
One more time, baby. Colin got no roof.
Every time somebody comes in here, they end up sitting next to
We
him
in the city.
and dancing to that song.
Hey,
All my Titans with me.
Hey, listen.
Mark, why are you not this way with the Bears? Why is it just the Titans?
don't. Hey, listen, I'll be there opening day. Don't be tripping. I'm going to Chicago opening
Who are
day.
you cheering for?
You know the answer to that. I already picked the Titans to go 17-0. But what I was going to say
You
is,
do have love for the Cubbies, though.
but I'm saying though, I got love for the Bears too.
Okay.
But what I was going to say is, I have that attitude. And I have to check myself because I'm like, is it just this fandom crazy? Is this how everybody always feels during the off season and during the draft stuff?
Yes.
And I think the answer is yes, but I also do believe that this year feels different, and I really believe that. I believe this year feels different.
From a starter standpoint, I think you could go through the 22 and find a really good football team. But beyond that, once you cut through the crust, what you got?
I'll tell you,
problems.
Like
it's like
there's
when you
not a
have
lot of teams that don't have depth problems.
It's like
leave us alone.
when you have the casserole and it looks like it's done on top, and then you cut into it, and you're like, what is this?
Everybody's trying to fill their depth, but I will say this. Think about
look at her move side. She cutting her eyes this way, man.
And shaking her head.
Go.
What
Hit us.
What is it, Babs?
I'm a little nervous, but hit us.
Look at Mark.
You just told us that you sprinkled some on the Titans to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we did.
You know, what is wrong with y'all?
We don't know.
Listen,
We don't know.
Best investment I've ever made.
I love the Titans. I've been in Nashville 18 years. I consider myself a fan. But at some point, we need a little realism here.
Right.
I don't know what the hell y'all are smoking.
Well, Lawan just sat in there and said 17-0.
But yeah, he came in on gummies or something. I mean, I don't know what's
Very
going
possible.
on here. I completely understand that this team is going to be better, and I agree, better than last year.
Okay.
But I think that maybe we're getting a little too excited about a brand new coach, a brand new staff, a brand new offense. That is something that Titans fans have never seen. They're going to throw the football. Oh my gosh, they actually have a deep group of wide receivers for the first time ever. No offense, Marc Mariani. You deep into that old roster, you know. You know what I mean, though, in general. But at the end of the day, we don't know what Will Levis is. There's no depth. I think the front middle part of this defense is scary, like not in a good way.
It will be.
We'll see. Secondary is going to be better.
What are you talking about? Inside linebacker?
Yes.
Oh.
But I just want to,
Yeah.
take it down a notch. And we have said, Mark, you sat in this studio last year and said, this is a rebuild for a franchise, and it's going to take more than a year.
Mm-hmm. So here's my
So
rebuttal.
we can't
And it
forget
hurt
that.
you.
She is
It hurt you to say that.
absolutely spot on. But let me tell you something.
I'm just reminding everybody there's no way that this team is going to be back in a year unless Will Levis turns into like freaking, Mahomes or something.
I think everything you said is spot on.
stop.
Except for this.
He could be great, though, in this offense. He
You
really
just said that this team is going to be better than we were last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we were
I agree.
7-10 last year. And here's where I think we're going to be this year. And I think if we're 2 games better or whatever, here's where I think we're going to be. And this is why I'm excited, because I think we are going to have some growing pains, but I think we're going to
And so is Will
exceed
Levis.
expectations. But here's the deal. I think that we're going to keep it. I think this staff brings it. I think the free agent signings bring us up, elevate us. And I think that this team is going to play meaningful games in December and be chasing a playoff spot late in December. And that's why I'm excited. 17-0, no. But if we are a little bit better than 7-10,
That's fair.
we are pushing for a playoff spot and playing in the postseason. And that's why I'm excited. And I think we've made enough steps.
Fair.
And the other thing is, I know we got to go to break, but our offense, as much as I love Tutu, is not centered around Derrick Henry anymore. Mm-hmm. So for better, for worse, we can't be gamed. I mean, we're going to be unpredictable. And that's an amazing place to be.
And people might call me crazy, but I think the running back room is better than what it was.
Yeah,
No, I 100% agree with that.
Yep,
I know, but
room.
it's hard to say that when you're talking about Derrick Henry.
Yeah, but for this style of offense also. I mean,
Yes.
those guys in the pass game, we can talk about that when we come back. We were thinking about this the other day. Actually, I think Cosell brought it up. What if somebody goes down on the left side of the offensive line?
We're in trouble.
Inside linebacker.
Screwed.
Pass rusher.
You're screwed without that.
I mean,
Screwed.
all right, we'll be right back. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.